Hello and welcome to our special look back at the year so far here on The Travel Show. It's crazy to think that it's already halfway through 2016, but we've wasted no time in travelling the globe and bringing you some great destinations. That's just some of the countries we visited this year, and unfortunately we don't have time to show them all, but we've handpicked a few favourites that we hope you'll enjoy seeing again. So coming up on this week's show, we head back to India as Henry challenges the coconut pickers of Kerala to a race to the top.
I think I'm going to rip my pants.
Carmen goes to a ninja training school in Japan. Addy puts tourists to the warm beer test in London.
That's absolutely fabulous.
And I speed things up in Hungary. Plus, we take a ride on a no-frills railway in Cambodia.
Rather precarious.
But first, back in March, President Obama's trip to Cuba marked an important step in relations between the two countries. Well, as ever, we like to think we're one step ahead of the game, so we sent Rajan to Cuba the week before the president arrived.
Tourism is Cuba's biggest industry, and it's currently booming, fueled by the rush of people anticipating the end of an era with the lifting of US sanctions. Hotel rooms in the capital especially are now very heavily booked, which leaves the traveller on a limited budget with the very Cuban option of casas particulares. This is basically the Airbnb prototype, whereby people lease out their spare rooms to tourists, and for many, this is a lifeline out of poverty. But where is the man that actually runs this B&B?
Hola! How are you?
I'm very well.
Welcome.
Hello, Julio. How are
Nice
you?
to meet you.
And who is this?
Let me introduce you. She's Luna de Miel.
Luna
He's
Miel.
my favorite horse.
Turns out Julio has several strings to his bow. Not just a hotelier, but also a horse whisperer. On a more serious note, Julio and his wife, who is a trained accountant, are more proof on my trip of the entrepreneurial spirit that is blossoming all around the island. He's an ambitious man.
What I expect, I need, because it's my way to be more freedom to do business. I'm not afraid too many things because I know Cubans are smart enough and they won't lose the Cuban identity. So some Americans, because I work a lot with American people, and they say, oh, soon you will have McDonald's,
Starbucks, yeah.
things like this. But maybe we can have things similar, but in our style, in our Cuban style, because I like the hamburgers and I like the coffee. I like to enjoy the good coffee, but within our style.
Julio took me on a trip around Trinidad by horse and cart, of course. On the town's cobbled streets, it's the most practical way.
Would you like to try?
Sure, absolutely. Okay.
So it's not Mercedes, but it's really
Yeah.
good anyway. Ah, you're doing very well. Just the common sense will tell you what you
Common
should
sense is everything, yeah. But I think the clue is, the trick is soft hands.
do. Soft hands.
Rajan there in Cuba preparing for change back in March. Now, another country that's experienced a turbulent past is Cambodia, where 40 years ago, Pol Pot's Khmer Rouge swept across the country and destroyed much of its rail network. Thankfully, a limited train service has now returned, and Henry went to try it out back in April to find out how it will help make travelling around the country a whole lot easier. But we couldn't let him have it too easy, so we sent him to the north of the country to try out a more makeshift railway that survived Pol Pot's crackdown.
All right, so this is ours, huh?
This is it.
Okay, jump aboard.
Seat 1A and 1B.
First class, as some would say. Excellent. All right. So it's a pretty simple engine, is it?
Very simple, yeah.
So I hope we're going to be all right. Is it fast?
Fast enough.
The origins of this railway go back to colonial times, but it eventually fell into disrepair and was left half forgotten. That meant that the Khmer Rouge overlooked the obsolete line as they destroyed the rest of the country's public transport infrastructure. Once the regime fell, locals hacked through the jungle to clear the tracks and then started their own makeshift railway. And it's still running today.
So this is quite distinct, actually. I've noticed that they're not wooden beams. What is the track made of?
Iron and steel. It was built by the French in the 1890s, and it's survived all this time.
I love how rustic it is, but you still get that kind of, where the track meets each other, that do-do-do, that typical train sound and feel. This is the life.
It is.
And how long have the locals been using such sort of services, I guess?
About 30 years since peace came to the area, and it was the only way for many of these people to get into town. And then we come to a bridge.
So this is a bridge. Oh, oh wow. It's rather precarious.
This is a railway where you'll find no timetable, no signal boxes, and no ticket inspectors. And also, very little in the way of passenger comfort.
Now, there's a bit of trepidation when you actually look down the track because you can kind of see it where it all wriggles and it's been warped through the years that it's been operating. And you hit these bumps, and I do feel as though I might fall off at any point, but it's fantastic. It's a great little thing.
Henry riding the rails in Cambodia back in April. Now, this year marks the anniversary of an event which at the time was considered to be a hammer blow to the Iron Curtain. Back in 1986, Hungary became the first Eastern Bloc country to host a Formula One Grand Prix. And back in March, I headed to Budapest to take a drive on the track where history was made. This year marks the 30th anniversary of the track, and these days tourists can come here and get in touch with their inner need for speed. My passenger is a touring car racer and a veteran of this course.
For the beginning, don't drive too fast. So, like in general, you have to find the limits because it's so easy here to make a mistake. And because of places like exit of turn 5 we have here, with no runoff, I think if someone is not confident, then he will crash the car for sure.
This track has a reputation for being a tricky one. There aren't that many long straights and overtaking is almost impossible, not to mention all of the twists and turns that can catch drivers out.
I can't imagine the atmosphere from the road.
You have sometimes moments in life when you feel it's something special, and every time having a race at home with so many people sitting on the grandstands and cheering for me is just amazing.
But this is more than just a destination for motoring enthusiasts. Exactly 30 years ago, this place held the very first Grand Prix behind the Iron Curtain. A huge moment, not just for Hungary, but for motorsport fans from all around the Eastern Bloc. It was new and significant. Only 3 years later, Hungary became one of the first countries to remove the communists from power. The transition was comparatively peaceful, but look closely around Budapest and there are still reminders of the old regime. Inside one of central Budapest's busy sports bars, I meet David Sandor, who commentated on that first race for Hungarian state TV.
De egyébként az akkori kormány, ez egy nagyon érdekes dolog, hogy egy szocialista kormány, egy szocialista körülmények között csak kapitalista módon engedte megcsinálni a...
Me on the fast track in Budapest back in March. Well, do stay with us because coming up we have Kerala coconut pickers going head to head.
Go! They're pretty much neck and neck at the moment.
And Carmen's joining a ninja training course in Japan.
This wall's as tall as me.
Now, if you ask most travellers what's best known about London, the old-fashioned British pub comes pretty high on that list. But the popularity of craft beer over the traditional pint has some Londoners worried about the future of their local boozer. In April, we sent Addy to investigate.
This is what I love about London. There's always something exciting going on in the streets. Now I'm in Bermondsey in southeast London, which has been renamed Beermondsey, because underneath these railway bridges, there's a revolution brewing. In fact, there are now said to be 1,500 small breweries in the UK, more than anywhere else per head in the world. And many of these are not brewing traditional real ale, they're making craft beer. U-Brew opened 2 years ago, and it claims to be the first and only open brewery where you can come along and make your own. So Matt, for a relative novice like me, what's the difference between craft beer and real ale?
Absolutely. So for us, craft beer is about innovation, quality, and trying new things. Real ale is really about how it's stored. It's stored inside of a cask and fermented naturally or re-fermented naturally inside of a cask.
Okay, passion fruit beer, here we go.
What do you think?
That's really nice.
Yeah.
That is really nice, it's tasty.
Absolutely.
It goes down really smooth as well.
Beer is beer, and people are always going to be excited about beer. And some people are still going to like those real and those cask ales.
It may not look like much, but the Brie Louise is award-winning and always busy with people who really know their beer. Ale, isn't it just like really bitter and very like stodgy? And I mean, why would a young person want to drink that?
You've got everything from hoppy, malty, stout, mild porter, the caramel macchiato, a squid ink IPA, things with fruits, toffee. I've got a honey mild on at the moment. They're all over the place.
Matt, sit down. This is Matt from U-Brew in Bermondsey. Matt,
Hey Matt, how are you?
Good to meet you.
Good to see you.
For you guys.
Yeah, so Matt has brought along some craft beer.
Yep.
And we want you to have a little sample of it and
Absolutely.
see whether you what you think of the amber nectar.
Okay, let's do that.
Up yours. Oh, that's a professional.
That's absolutely fabulous. Really is fabulous.
That's really interesting. So you're not against it, or?
No, not at all. No, I'll drink bottled craft beer where I can't find good cask ale. Absolutely.
I think I'll leave those two to bond. And you know what? There's nothing like a British beer in a traditional British boozer to bring people together.
Addy sampling some amber nectar back in April in London. Now, although the Rio Olympics are only 2 months away, some travellers are already looking 4 years ahead to Tokyo 2020. It will be the first time that Japan has hosted the game since 1964, and although it's a fascinating country, it can be a little daunting for foreigners to explore.
And if you do decide to head there, don't be surprised if you come across some specially trained ninja guides. We sent Carmen along to find out exactly what it takes to join their ranks back in May.
The ninja, a mysterious undercover agent in feudal Japan, skilled in espionage and assassination, living in the shadows, and now you can apply to be one. Far from hiding in the dark, the next generation of ninjas answered a job ad. Full-time, Central Japan, salary around $1,600 a month. This is the Nagoya Castle, and these are some of the chosen few, the new ninjas. And yes, one of them isn't Japanese. He's from America.
I think it's every foreign kid's dream at one point. Every kid's dream. Every kid dreams about becoming a ninja at some point in their life. For me, I just held on to that dream a little longer than most people.
2 hours from Nagoya, I've been told this is the heart of ninja country.
So hundreds of years ago, real-life ninjas trained in the very mountains here in Akamedaki. So I've come to this ninja training camp to try and get an authentic ninja experience.
Ninja no Mori, or Ninja Forest, has been set up to cater to tourists in a natural setting.
I might look the part, but can I cut it as a real-life ninja?
To my relief, we started the day with some prayers and meditation. Then it was time to leave the safe surrounds of the temple and head to the training course.
To be honest, I'm a bit nervous. I don't want to fall flat on my face and embarrass myself. I do kind of feel ninja-like here. Okay, I don't think ninjas are meant to giggle. Okay. This world's as tall as me.
Well, I guess Carmen's got 4 whole years to practice before the Tokyo Olympics. Now, to finish up our look back at the travel show this year, here is one of our all-time favourites. It's Henry in Kerala, and all I'll say is that if you have a coconut tree in your back garden, please don't try this at home.
In Kerala, there are coconut trees almost everywhere. The state produces 6 billion coconuts annually, and incredibly, most of them are still picked by hand.
All right.
Some homestays in Kerala are now teaching tourists the art of coconut tree climbing. So let's see if I'm up to the challenge. I want to hoist myself up, but my arms, they just won't obey.
Straight. I think I'm gonna rip my pants. Oh, I think that's it for me.
How does he do it? The coconut industry is worth billions of dollars, so the decline of manual climbers has called for modernization of sorts.
That looks so much easier than what I was doing.
The state government has tried everything from competitions to prize money to find a machine that could entice people back into the job. This one, invented by a local farmer, has proved relatively simple to operate.
Over here we have the traditional coconut tree climbers. They're going to be using their ropes that they have around their legs and whatnot. Over on this side we have the mechanically assisted, and we're going to find out who is the fastest. So, 3, 2, 1, go! They're pretty much neck and neck at the moment. Actually, mechanically assisted are going a little bit faster. He's caught up on the time, he's caught up on the time. There we go, and they're switching. Now the turnover is a little, go, 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 go. Wow, our traditional climbers are doing very well indeed. We're still going, oh, careful. I think he did. He's had a stall. We found a chink in the armor. The mechanical one has a little bit of a problem coming down. The third guy, he got tired. He's doing well though, he's doing well. Coconuts for you! To the winners! Sky the spoils! Yeah. Oh. It's good? How does victory taste, boys? Sweet.
Now here's a fascinating fact for you. There are more coconuts in Kerala than there are people in the world. You can have that one for free. Now, that's all we've got time for on this week's show. Next week, we're off to a theme park to find out if virtual reality rides will ever take the place of the real white-knuckle deal. In the meantime, don't forget you can catch up with us while we're out on the road in real time by signing up to our social media feeds. But for now, from me, Crystal Larwood, and the rest of the Travel Show team here in New York, it's goodbye.